welcome back from the jungle, Khrystyna Goodman.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
So, we want to hear there's a lot of listeners that have been dying for this podcast to drop to hear about your trip to the jungle. Let's start with what inspired you to go to the jungle and how did you find your way there?
Oh, great question. So let me start kind of just from the beginning, and I'll make it short because it can be a long story. But I would say almost 6 years ago now, I got really sick. I was overdoing everything. I ran a CrossFit gym, homeschooled my kids, and was just doing way too much, way too much. Found myself sick, meaning like I had depression, I had really bad joint pain, very bloated. My face was like super broken out. I felt extremely numb. Like I just, not like numb in my body, but like numb emotionally. Like I just couldn't find joy in anything. And I had like this perfect life. I had this amazing husband. I have these wonderful kids and this amazing piece of property. And I'm like, why am I not happy? Like something's wrong. I went to Western medicine and they told me nothing was wrong with me. They tested me for all these things. Like, you're perfectly healthy. Your blood pressure is great. Your weight is at a good, number. Da, 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 da. Everything is fine. And I knew something was wrong. Went to holistic medicine, and that's where my life, like, changed. I started opening my eyes to a more natural way of healing, and nothing against Western medicine. I do feel like there's this integrative approach to holistic medicine and Western medicine. But I really found my way. It healed myself with the help of this holistic practitioner out of Texas, by meditating, regulating my nervous system, eating foods that were healing to my body, organic, less environmental toxins, all of these things. Fast forward, felt amazing, only 3 months into it. 6 years later, found my way into this other modality of healing and more traditional medicines from the Amazon jungle, maybe psychoactive plants, and which if you would have known me 5 years ago, 6 years ago, you would know Khrystyna doesn't do anything like that. I'm not gonna touch it. It's not good for me. I don't touch, like I just, like, I grew up very much like straight and narrow, like this is what we do, and you don't touch anything that's psychoactive or a drug or anything like that. And I was able to, like, through the jungle, like, experience these different modalities, just very curious about these healing modalities. And being curious about it, I started like having dreams about it. And it's like the jungle was like coming through in my meditation and through my dreams. And this shaman, this wonderful human, his name's Chana or Kevin Houlihan, and he came into our lives, right? And I was asked to go to this healing center, Hoja de Luna, in Peru. And I didn't think I would be able to go. Like, I have a life, I have a job, I have 3 kids. My husband was never going to let me go in my head, right? He's wonderful. He was very supportive and allowed me to do this. And, I was asked to go and learn and do this dieta with these plants. And I didn't really know what it meant. I didn't really know what I was up for, but knowing me, like knowing myself, I researched the living daylights out of like what this experience would be like.
What's a dieta?
So the dieta, and forgive me if I'm not like saying it correctly, because I want to make sure that I honor the tradition and not come up with my own Western mindset on it. But the dieta is like, you're going to submerge yourself in nature. You're going to go to the jungle and you go on this restrictive diet. The first two, it's a 32-day diet. And you go there, and it's this, 2 weeks of eating 2 hard-boiled eggs a day, 4 cups of rice, and 2 or 3 baked potatoes. I think it's 3. Yeah, 3.
So 32-day dieta, but then you begin that actually before you go to the jungle, right?
Yeah, well, it's more of like a practice so that you're not like, so say you're somebody who is very into like fast food or processed food. You want to start restricting those things like caffeine, anything that's like an attachment for you. You want to restrict those things prior to going so that it's not so hard. So it's not like this like whiplash of like, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? And just cleaning out your body more. They do recommend that you're not detoxing before you go, or like going on these really restrictive diets, like a diet that's going to make you weak. Because when you do go there, you're only eating rice, eggs, and potatoes with no salt, no sugar, no seasonings, no butter, no oil, no caffeine. Like you're just drinking water, and you get to have those 3 things, and it does make you weak. Like you are getting enough food. You're not starving, but you're not getting the micronutrients that you would typically get in your everyday life.
So they say don't detox before because the whole experience there is a detox itself.
Yeah,
okay.
100%.
You don't want to detox and then detox more.
Right. And so with this dieta, what you're doing is you are communicating with a plant.
Which plant?
So we did, our dieta was with Sangre de Grado, but they also include ayahuasca and tobacco as part of your dieta, or that you like pretty much did a dieta with these plants as well, because these plants were also introduced to us in the jungle during the dieta process. So technically, if I'm correct, if I'm saying this correctly, we did a dieta with 3 plants. Right, so
tobacco, ayahuasca, and Sangre de Grado.
Yep, Sangre de Grado.
What kind of a plant is that? Is it like a vine or a...
So Sangre de Grado is a tree, and it's a really beautiful tree. It looks kind of like, if you think of like, so maybe from the United States or from Wisconsin, like a birch tree. The bark is kind of like that, but a little bit smoother. And it has like these like eyeballs on it. It looks like just an eye.
Like all over it?
All over it. It's kind of cool. It looks like the tree has eyes. And then the leaves are heart shaped. So, I can go into more detail of like when we got there. So like, and then I can explain what the dieta process was like, so that then it makes more sense.
Okay.
So you get there, so you could fly into, where did we fly into? Pucallpa. So yeah, we flew into Pucallpa.
That's Peru.
Yes, and into Peru. And we get there, and I've never been to a third world country or like somewhere in this context. It's a cool experience, because our friend Chana picks us up, at the airport. He's like, "All right, I'm going to get you guys some taxis," and they're like these little bikes. I forget what they're called.
Rickshaws.
Rickshaw. And I was like, "No way! Like that's what we're riding." And we got these suitcases or whatever, so we put them on the back of this rickshaw, and it's smoggy there. It's like hard to breathe.
So it's a big city. Smog?
Yeah, I would say it's a bigger city in Peru. It's just different, right? It's a different way of life. Not saying that it was bad. It was different. Like it was more, yeah, it just was different.
Was it shocking?
Shocking? No. I've seen enough movies and watched enough Amazing Race and Survivor.
But
and
drastically like different than...
Yeah. Made me very grateful to live in the United States. And also, this wasn't a bad place to live. And these people, it was a beautiful lesson to see people so happy with nothing, or with garbage all over the street, or, it's just a different way of life. Like in the United States, we consume, and we have all of these things, yet we're not happy, and not all of us, but like some of us are not happy. We are just wanting to consume more, and we think that happiness is having more, having the nicer things, and these people are happy with nothing,
Garbage everywhere?
Garbage everywhere.
Because I pictured a pristine city.
No.
Like indigenous with living one.
No,
with
that's
the
in
land
the jungle.
Okay, so this is not the jungle yet.
No, and so Chana was telling us, because I asked, I was like, it's so weird to me. Like, we're going to the jungle to learn about this medicine, and we're so close to the source of this traditional medicine, right? And yet these people are so disconnected from the jungle, from the plants, from the earth, right? And there's just, it kind of made me sick. Like, I could feel this energy of like, this doesn't feel good. Like, what am I doing? Like, I could have done a dieta on my own land where there was no garbage, right? Which is not true. I wouldn't know how to do it without the maestros, like the maestros, like, they
Until
couldn't do
now.
it. Yeah. So long story short, we stayed there for a day, and then we took a boat to, I think it was like 3-hour boat ride on the Amazon. And
Wait, didn't you take a rickshaw to a boat and then another rickshaw to another boat?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, so we took a rickshaw from the Airbnb, took a rickshaw to the boat on the Amazon. We had to rent a boat. We had to like go stand by the clock tower, like all like 8 of us, and then 9 of us, I think. And Chana, who speaks Spanish, he knows what he's doing because he's been doing this for a long time. He had to go and negotiate, but he had to make sure that none of us were around him because like it would be hard to negotiate the price or whatever. So he like had it all planned, and he was able to negotiate and rented this private boat. And yeah, so we were on this boat for 3 hours, and then we got off the boat, and then I think it was like a 20-minute like rickshaw. Is that
well, that's what you told me. I've
Yeah,
never
I
heard that
forget,
until
yeah.
you told me that.
I don't know what I think it's called rickshaw. So we take that to a lagoon, and then we get on another boat, and that's only like a short boat ride, maybe 15 minutes or something. And we get to this center, and this place is just so beautiful. Like, we get off, and you can just tell like it's different than Pucallpa. It's like these people are very one with the land.
Is it a village or just like someone's place?
So it's someone's place. The shamans that run this center. So this is like a learning center. We were gonna go stay with the village, like with a tribe, but Chana figured that it would be better for us to do it where he first learned, and to do it in a place of like discernment and love. And I'm so thankful for this opportunity, because I thought for sure, like, I want to go stay with the tribes, and I want to be, this was perfect, exactly what I think we needed. Because you think you want the whole adventure until you get there, and then you're like, oh, this is perfect, exactly the way it is. So these shamans, this is Ancha Inca tribe. So these are the descendants of the Inca tribe that built Machu Picchu. And so this is a shaman who has been learning from thousands of years of information passed down from generation to generation. And how cool and beautiful is it that he is able to teach, this medicine, these dietas, and have this understanding of the plants that has been passed down to him, from his lineage. And how beautiful is it that he's opening it up to teach the gringos, right?
Anyone who wants to go, right?
I think so. And you might have to be invited, but for just certain ones, I think. But I do believe like their center is a retreat center as well, so you could go there. You could go and learn with different medicines. So there's some medicines that I believe you have to like do other ones prior, and you want to be invited, and it's like a whole process. So, and then his wife, her name's Raquel. So it's Wagner and Raquel. Raquel is from Chile, and she speaks English, and she thinks she doesn't speak English well, but she does. She speaks English very well.
In Spanish.
In Spanish, yeah. And she
Portuguese, or?
I think so, yeah. I think she does speak Portuguese. But it's nice to have that bridge, because Wagner has the knowledge, and Raquel has learned from Wagner and from Wagner's, relatives and things. But she speaks our language, and so it's nice.
Wagner doesn't?
No, he doesn't speak English.
So those are the two leaders. They're husband and wife. They run this
mm-hmm.
retreat center. What's the name of it again?
Hoja de Luna.
Hoja de Luna.
Yeah, and I might be saying that wrong, and so please forgive me, and then I will correct it like in the comments.
It's okay.
Yeah, and like I said, it's just like it's amazing bridge that she is to be able to relay the messages that he's giving, because I don't speak Spanish, and that is something for me that I wish I would have learned more Spanish before I went. And so now, like, when I go back, because I will go back, when I go back, I will learn Spanish as much as I possibly can. So, all right. So what is a dieta? Like I said, it's a 32-day process. And it's this process that allows you to commune with the master plants. And so the master plants in Spanish, master is maestro, right? And maestro is teacher, right? So that is where it's translated into English as a master. It is a teacher plant. It's going to teach you things. And each one of these plants has different healing properties through the spiritual body, the emotional body, and the physical body. So when we went there, we did this dieta, and I'm still doing it. I'm not done until June 5th. So we did the hard dieta, which is two weeks while we were there, of a restrictive diet, like we talked about. The 2 eggs, the 4 cups of rice, three potatoes. And restrictive, oh, go ahead.
All day.
Yeah, it's all you get all day. So you get this, it's kind of cool. So we run retreats, right? And I was like, this is kind of genius. I would think I want to do this when we do like longer retreats. But they just make a pot of food, and each person has a pot. And you have like your pot, your bowl, your plate, your fork, your spoon, and a glass tipped upside down, and it has your name on it. And like, this is your pot, and you can eat whenever you want to. Like, it'll be done at whatever time in the morning, whenever she makes it. And then you can eat it out of it all day long, whatever time you want to. So
eat it all at once. Eat snack on it throughout the day.
Yeah, and if you want to eat all at once, you're going to be super dry in the mouth because there's no oil or anything in it. So I would just dump water. I would just dump a whole bunch of water, and people are like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Making a soup." Like, I'm making a soup.
Rice, potatoes, and eggs. No salt.
Nothing. Yeah. And it's hard-boiled eggs, so it's like they're really dry. And I just kept wishing, like, oh, maybe today she's gonna make soft-boiled eggs, and then I can like make it so it's a little bit more.
Did she ever do that?
No, but it's okay. It was fine.
Because what would the difference be, really, other than just adding a little better texture?
Right.
And what kind of potatoes were they? Like white potatoes?
White potatoes, yeah.
How were those? Just boiled?
Yeah, boiled potatoes, super
soft.
Dry. Yeah, soft, but like. Without, you don't realize how dry rice and potatoes and eggs are until you don't add anything to it. Like, it's so dry.
Stop overcooking it, Raquel.
Yeah, Raquel. No, it was good. I mean, the rice and potatoes were perfect, but the hard-boiled eggs, I was like, man, if they were just soft-boiled, it would have been. We would like pray like before. I'd be like, please, Raquel, can you have soft-boiled eggs today? No, she's wonderful. So, anyways. You're in this process trying to connect to this plant. So you're on this diet. The first day, you're just integrating. You're just there. We get a nice meal, really good food, seasoned, etc. Very like natural food. It was really, really good. And then the very next day, we start the process. And the first thing that you do is you do a tobacco cleanse. And so they have this maloka, which is like this open air, ceremony center, ceremony hut, right? And it's in this circle. It's really beautiful, made out of wood and screens, and then like a patch. Forgot what you call it, like the roof. Looks like palm leaves or something. Like there's some sort of leaves, I guess.
Oh yeah, I forgot what that's
like
called.
Patch something. Anyways. It's in there, and then you have your own little mat, and then there's this cup, and this cup has tobacco tea in it, and you drink this tea, and this is a purging medicine. So you're not going to drink tobacco and like let it sit in your body and stay in your body, right? Like, this is meant to clean out your body. And in the West, we think this is really weird. Like, this is stupid. Like, we're not going to do this. It sounds dangerous. But in almost all ancient traditional medicine, through Ayurveda, these indigenous traditional medicines as well, like through the Amazon.
Native Americans do that?
Yeah, Native Americans. Like, there's so many purging medicines. And in the West, I'm sure, like when we're puking, it's uncomfortable, and we'll do anything in our power to not throw up. At least that was me. Like I'm like, I don't like to throw up. I don't want to do this. But understanding that we have energy that moves up, and we need to move it out, right? So we have things that in our body, like this biofilm, energy in the spiritual body, etc., that needs to be moved out. And it can't always just be moved through the urethra or the anus, right? Like it has to go other directions. So we do this purging tea, this tobacco tea, you drink it, and then you take this pitcher of water and you just start chugging this water, like just holding it here, and you're just chugging.
Is it pretty good water?
Yeah, the water was perfect.
Is it from a well?
Yeah. Yeah, and so I felt very comfortable drinking from
jungle well
water.
Must be
yeah, it was good. So you drink that, and then you have your little bucket, and then you start puking. And it's not that bad.
You're by yourself?
So this one was interesting because I've done tobacco ceremonies before. It was like with a group, and this one was like, come as you are, come when you can, and like it doesn't have to be with a group, and there's like no music playing or anything. It's just like, here's your puking medicine, your purging medicine, and you just go. And so
is it like a pint of tea, or how much?
Like a small glass. So it was like this big, and it wasn't as strong as I've seen or I've done before. Sorry, my nose
it wasn't
running.
As dark.
And so I thought, oh, is this right? Like, is there something wrong with this? She's like, no, it's perfect. Like,
is it just tobacco, like fresh tobacco soaked in water? Is that all it is?
I'm guessing that's all it is. Yeah, I don't know if they boil it or if it's like like
tobacco tea.
Tea. Yeah. So your first day, you're cleansing out your body, and then you feel nauseous the rest of the day. At least I did. And tobacco that's what it does to me. So I just went back into my hut, laid down for a few hours, but then I had that pot of food, and we were going to do ayahuasca that night. And ayahuasca is a psychoactive medicine. And with ayahuasca, this medicine, you're able to commune with your plant more. You're able to hear more messages, understand your plant more that you're doing this dieta with. And we have yet to take the sangre de grado, which is going to be the sap of the tree. So we haven't taken any medicine from sangre de grado at this point. First day is tobacco cleanse, eat your food, go meditate. Well, I was like, I like meditating. I'm going to meditate all day. And so I ate some food and I meditated for like 6 hours, like 3 hours at one point, took like an hour break, and then went back and meditated again. And then they taught us different ways to sit with ayahuasca when we do our ceremony. And it was to sit upright, stay centered in your third eye, and you take your tea after the shaman calls you up, and then you sit in silence in the pitch black in the Maloka in the middle of the jungle, and you hear all these noises in the evening, right? And it's different. I live in the country, and that doesn't even come close to the sounds that you hear, how loud they are in the jungle.
It's louder.
It's so loud.
More animals?
More animals,
birds,
more insects.
Monkeys, or insects?
Insects, I would say. And other types of animals you're going to hear. But it's so different, like the day and the night compared. Like there's always sound, but there's always something different from the evening to the morning. Anyways, you sit with this medicine, this psychoactive medicine, and you take your tea. It's a tea. It's made out of 2 plants, chacruna leaves and ayahuasca vine. And so the ayahuasca vine and chacruna leaves are boiled together, and they make this in a very spiritual way. Like they're going to put a lot of blessing and time and love into this medicine. And it's not a drug, right? People are like, oh, Khrystyna went down to the jungle to go do this psychedelics, right? That's not what I did. Like, it's not, I mean, yes, we did psychedelics, but it wasn't because I wanted to go get high. Like, that's not what it was for. It's a connection to yourself and to a place in your mind, in your body, in your spirit, of maybe your shadows, right? Some different healing modalities that you have to deal with that maybe you haven't been able to touch with talk therapy or journaling or shadow work or breath work or things like that, right? Um, so first ceremony, we were sitting there meditating in the pitch black, and I start feeling the medicine like move through me. I'm like, okay, here we go. Like I can do this. I'm strong. I'm brave. I tell my daughter all the time, you are brave. You are strong. You can do this. And she says it a lot. And so I was saying it in my head, like, you are brave. You are strong. You can do this. And I'm sitting there, and it starts moving, and I start feeling it, and I start seeing things. And then all of a sudden, my body, like all this energy started moving up through my body, and I got really hot. It's very hot in the jungle, but it was something different. Like I felt like I was having like I had a fever, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, here we go. Like I told you before, like I feel like I'm gonna die. Like this is not this. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have came to the jungle. I'm gonna die here.
Were you having second thoughts like, what am I doing?
Yeah, I was, and it was part of the process. I needed to. It was something that needed to be cleansed out of my body, because ayahuasca is a purging medicine. It is a medicine that cleans you out as well. So it's a very healing medicine on the like the psychoactive, like spiritual, emotional, and physical body. But it is a purging medicine. Whether you purge through crying, through sweating, through pooping or puking, which sounds crazy in this culture, but it's not. Like it's a beautiful healing process. I get super, super hot. All this energy moves right here. And I know a lot about like the third eye, and so for our listeners, like this is just an energetic center in the body, the pineal gland, right? There's a gland about an inch behind the eyebrows, and all of a sudden, all this energy, this heat, this enormous amount of heat moved here, and then it was like a bomb went off in my mind. Like it just like poof. And when that happened, I saw this really bright light, this extremely bright light. And then I started pouring sweat, and I just felt so much relief. Like something was just released out of my body. And I did see like all of my cells in my body, which sounds funny, but I saw all my cells like kind of like open and then like release something. And then once that happened, I was just drenched in sweat. And then I stayed centered, like like Raquel was telling us, and I was, sitting upright, staying focused, because you're going to see vision. It's a very visual medicine. Most people see visions, not everyone does, but I start to see visions and see things. And she's telling us, like, stay sovereign in yourself. You are in control of yourself. Just because you are working with a psychoactive medicine does not mean that the medicine is going to control you. You don't have to let it control you. So I'm sitting there and then staying focused. And that was my first session. Much more detailed with ayahuasca ceremonies, but I know we don't have that much time. Woke up the next morning. You're supposed to sleep. You can sleep in the maloka, or you can go back to your cabana, which you stay in these like little huts. And they're so cute. Like they're just like a bed with a little table inside this hut that has like cracks in the wall, so like spiders and stuff can come through, and so you're very in nature, right? And I loved it. Like I was like, I could live like this. If I didn't live in Wisconsin, I would live like this.
You felt that right away?
I was scared. I think the first
because of the spiders.
No, I'm not scared of spiders. I'm scared of snakes. So I was like, I'm not even scared of snakes. I think I'm scared of the unknown of the jungle, spiders and snakes, maybe. I wasn't scared of them, but like, but there's this mosquito net that you can tuck in and like, whatever. And they teach you how to like get stuff out of your maloka if there is stuff in there. And they give you like this like little pamphlet of like things to stay away from. And you think that like when you go there, you're gonna see, be careful of the jaguars and be careful of the anacondas and the boas. And no, it was like, this ant is very dangerous, and this caterpillar you want to stay away from. So I was like, oh, that's good news. I can stay away from an ant and a caterpillar. But I was just really hoping that our talk on, the animals to stay away from weren't like boas and anacondas and jaguars,
So they didn't really talk about those.
No. They said if you see a jaguar, it's too late. They already see you. And I was like, oh. And so Shauna said, I've never seen a jaguar. And if you do see one, it's too late. So
too late, like they're going to get you if you see one?
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully that's like not the case, but yeah, who knows? Um, so after the first ceremony, you're supposed to like meditate and just reflect and um, create things, whether it's painting, drawing, making jewelry, like beadwork, making jewelry, all these different
Did
things.
you make that?
You think I made this? That's so nice of you, but no, I did not.
Did you do any beadwork or what was your art, your
So
creation?
I like to paint. I painted and I did a lot of like marker and drawing work, and I did a lot of like a flower pressing.
Mm.
But if anyone knows me, I don't like puzzles, and I feel like beadwork is very puzzly, and I don't like it. Like it's too intricate for me, and I don't know. It wasn't my thing. A lot of the women, I think everyone else did the beadwork, and like you should try this. I was like, no thanks. Like I'm not doing it. Um, so then you're still on this diet, and you're just like alone meditating, and you can also communicate with the people that you're with. So we had a group of 10 and different walks of life, very, very amazing people. And so you get to experience this whole journey with them. And also the first day that you're there, you don't use toothpaste the whole time you're there. You don't use toothpaste. You don't use.
So you brush your teeth just
with water, just
and
water.
a toothbrush.
And toothbrush, yeah.
Okay. Why is that? Is that how they usually just?
It's only for the dietas. It's so that you can fully be part of. So you are nature. Like we forget that we are not. That we are nature. Like we think we're separate from nature, and we're not separate. We are nature, and with these dietas, we want to submerge ourselves so deeply back into nature that we get rid of the cosmetics, because most yes, there's natural products and whatever else, but there's still like a perfume in it, or there's a fragrance, or there's some sort of environmental toxin that could alter the connection to the plant. So you're not using soap, you don't use shampoo, conditioner, body wash, or lotion, makeup, whatever, deodorant. So you are literally showering in the water, and that's it. You have cold water, and there's this other plant, I forget the name of it, but it's like the English name they were calling it was like the garlic vine. They have this like garlic. It's not garlic, but it smells like garlic, and it's like sitting in this water tub in the shower room, the shower house, bathhouse is what they call it. And you have to it's part of a ceremony. You take this stuff. It smells like garlic, and you face the east, I think first. I might be wrong. East and west, like the sunrise, sunset, and you face the east. Yes, if you face the east first, and you dump it down your head 3 times, and you smell like garlic. And when you're hungry, it smells really good. You're just like, oh, I could put this on my mashed potatoes. That's okay. So then you go to the west, and then you do it again. And this keeps the mosquitoes away from you. It keeps the bugs away from you. It keeps things that you don't want around you. It just cleans out the energy a little bit differently. So cold showers, garlic bath, like a flower bath, but that's what they use in their dietas. And traditionally, from the research that I've done, I'm not sure if this tribe does this, but traditionally when people do dietas, they sleep by the plant, like no hut, no anything, by the plant that they're doing a dieta with. So they're that connected, and they do it in isolation. So there's no phone, you don't have a connection to anything. Here you could still walk down to the lagoon and have a phone call or whatever, but you're not supposed to be on the internet. You're not scrolling social media. You're letting your family and your loved ones know, I'm okay, and happy birthday, and that was about it, right? And so you're in this isolation, and then the second day after the ayahuasca ceremony, on an empty stomach, you're taking your first sangre de grado medicine, and it's this little bottle, and you take a tablespoon of this medicine and you drink it.
It's the sap of the tree.
It's the sap of a tree, and in English they call it the dragon's blood. And it's very red, and you take it and your teeth are stained red, which you don't have a mirror, so you have no idea. And so you walk around, everyone's teeth are red. Okay, wash your teeth out.
Is it sticky or watery?
It's astringent. It's very astringent. It's watery. But it's it will pull all the moisture out of your mouth. It's it's hard to explain, but it's the most astringent thing you've ever drank. And so you take that. Some people got really nauseous on it. I did not.
1 tablespoon.
1 tablespoon in the morning and 1 tablespoon in the evening, and this is going to be 3 doses. If you have extra in your bottle and you want to take more, you can. So I ended up taking 7 total doses. 7 tablespoons. So that's what it is. 6 tablespoons is your total, but 3 days worth. And I ended up taking like a 4th day, so 3.5 days.
Did you like have food with it? Or?
So you can't have food with it. You have to have an empty stomach. And then like a couple hours later, then you can eat breakfast.
What about water?
You can have water.
Because it dries your mouth out.
Yeah,
so
you can
drink a lot afterwards.
I didn't. I just let it, because I know what the mouth does with the absorption. There's so much absorption in the mouth, and so I'm like, give me all the medicine. Like, let me do it. So I would just drink it, and then I would meditate, and I would just let the astringent be there, because I just want to absorb in the mucous membranes. And then that evening, so you take your 2nd dose, and you have your dinner and stuff. Then you take your 2nd dose on an empty stomach. But you have an intention. Like, you start to meditate with the plant. You start to see the plant, like the trunk. They want you to focus on the trunk of the plant. So before we even started the medicine, you go and you just look at the tree. You get to know the tree. You feel the leaves. You feel the bark. You communicate with the tree. And then when you're meditating, you're focusing here on the 3rd eye, and you're focusing on the trunk, and you're meditating. And then you start dreaming. And when you dream, when you're in the evening, your dreams are different. And not everyone did dream right away. Some people like it picked up right away, and then the plant was communicating with them immediately. And my dreams have never been so vivid, and they've never been so like this way. Like, I have dreams before, but how a dieta works, these trees are teaching you through your dreams. And at first I was like, I don't know if I believe it, until I try it.
So that's where all the teaching happens.
Yes. So with Sangre de Grado, the physical properties, the physical healing properties of Sangre de Grado is antimicrobial, antibacterial, antiviral. So it's anti-tumor. Like, there's so many physical healing properties of this plant that are working through you and on you without your dreams, right? They're patching things in your body, healing you on a cellular level. And this is not just traditional medicine talking. John Hopkins has studies on this. Not WebMD, another MD website. But there's so many studies showing the properties, the physical healing properties of these master plants and what they're doing. There is research on these helping with cancer. I'm not going to say it cures it. It's not. It's helping with cancer cells.
There must be people that go to do these dietas who have cancer, right? They hear about this and they're like, I want to try this.
Yes, there's a protocol there. It's a 2-month protocol. So I talked to Raquel about this, and I'm not a professional with this by any means. I'm still learning a lot of this stuff.
Pull your mic down a little bit.
Put it down?
Yeah, just a little bit. Like pull it down there.
Is that better?
Just so it's not covering your face. Yeah.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
So people will go there for 2 months. They do these dietas for 2 months, and they're doing this dieta with 3 plants. So it's copaiba. Copaiba is like the master healing plant for the cancer cells.
Is that the big tree?
Yes.
But I thought, sorry to keep interrupting you. I thought that you had to like work your way up to that.
No,
one.
that one's Ayauma.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
But copaiba is a big tree, and sorry, my nose keeps running. With this tree, or with this dieta, it's 3 different ones. So it's Sangre de Grado, copaiba, and I don't remember the third one's name. But Raquel and Wagner and these other centers, they guide you through this process. And so you're on these strict diets, because when we restrict the diet, we're restricting the energetic properties of our body, and we're allowing these plants to embed into the body. We're removing toxins out of the body. So the biofilm, that sticky substance that's in the body that we have in ourselves, like in Ayurveda, that's called ama, that's called toxins, right? And so these ancient practices, traditional medicine, Ayurveda, they know what they're doing. They've been doing this for thousands of years. It's time tested. And yet, like, we're just hearing about this in the West, or we're just like starting to understand a little bit, and it's becoming more prominent here. But we have to make sure that we're doing our due diligence of like not just taking their medicine and thinking we know what we're doing and then run with it, right? No, like it has to come from the source. It has to come from these amazing teachers um, who have the ancestral lineage, who have the knowledge, who have the wisdom. Let them teach. And so if you are thinking of doing a dieta, make sure that you are doing it with discernment, that you're doing it with somebody who is able to teach you, like Hoja de Luna. Like, go to their center, do it with them.
Because the process is just as important as the medicine.
100%. You're not just taking the medicine. It's not what it is. You're not just like, oh, I found Copaiba and Sangre de Grado online, and I'm gonna
take the supplement.
Right. I take a supplement, and it's part of my daily ritual or routine. Perfect. That's awesome that you have a daily ritual and routine, but this is not the same. The way that they do these dietas is intense. It's a process. It's not take this medicine and you're healed. Like, it's great. So yeah, I mean, with Sangre de Grado, like, people with sexually transmitted diseases could go there and heal their body. Like tumor, like I was saying before. So if somebody has tumors, it helps with skin irritation and issues. There's another plant that is more prominent for the skin. It's just an example of what Sangre de Grado can do. So many healing modalities when it comes to doing this dieta with this plant. Another thing that can happen with this plant, and like I said, I'm not a professional. I'm still working on like learning about it myself. So please forgive me if I'm not saying everything correctly. But the spiritual aspects of this plant is like patching the holes in your soul. And at first, I was like, I don't even really know what that means, but it sounds great. Like, I patch the holes in my soul. Like, that sounds wonderful. And it did. Like, it's still doing it. There's things that, like, my lineage or my ancestors and myself that I needed to heal from, there's, like, shadows that I never knew existed have been brought to the surface through the ayahuasca ceremonies, through my dreams, and I have been able to heal from them.
Can you share an example?
Sure.
Or are these really personal?
No, they're really personal, but I'm like an open book, so it's fine. So when I was younger, I had an abortion, and I didn't, I was super, what do you call that? Like, when I wasn't going to tell anyone.
You buried it.
I buried it. And I didn't want to tell anyone. I only told my husband. Like, it's the only person I've ever really told. But at this time, I was 19, and I watched my parents struggle at, 17 years old. Like, when they were 17, I knew how young they were when they had my brother and I. And there was 3 other ones that came after that. And life was really hard. We had a great childhood, but it was hard. Like, it was like we were very, like, not well-to-do, but we had a lot of love, which was great. But at that time, I just wasn't able to have a baby. I wasn't ready. And I totally regretted it my whole life afterwards. And I buried it, and I thought I healed from it. I was like, if I don't talk about it, pretend like it never happened, that's fine. I'm okay. Like, I don't have to deal with this. Like, I told one person, I said it, I spoke my truth, and now I never have to deal with it again. Well, Sangre de Grado said, yeah, right, girl, like, you're not done with this. Like, it is something that's still in your DNA. And I had a miscarriage at 20 weeks after my second son. And it was like a big thing. Like, it was, they inserted this, there was no heartbeat, blah, blah, blah. The hospital was like, here's this pill. We're going to give you this pill so your body will get rid of the baby. Otherwise, it's not doing its job, and it's not, like, whatever. So I ended up having to give birth to this baby in my bedroom alone with the door locked. And my husband, as I told him to leave, take my kids to the park. So I did that alone, not because he wasn't going to be there, because I told him to get out. Like, I wanted to do it alone. And then I went to this fitness class. I was teaching fitness classes, started like bleeding profusely, and I called my doctor, and I was like, something's wrong. Like I'm bleeding like crazy. It's not my menstrual cycle. Like I don't know what this is. She's like, you need to go to the hospital immediately. Long story short, I had to have a DNC, like emergency DNC, where they scraped out your uterus and like get rid of whatever else was left in there. Something was left in there. Like I was bleeding out. Like I was gonna have a blood transfusion. They said if I would have waited any longer, I would have died. Um, so those are my like two things that I buried for a really long time. And with this medicine, I had this dream, the multiple dreams in one night. And this little girl comes up to me in my dream, and she's like holding onto someone's hand, and like I think it was like standing in like the Tanger Outlet Mall or something. And I'm standing there, and this little girl comes running up to me, and she looks me in the eyes, and she's probably like 2 or 3 years old, and I think it was that age because I relate to toddlers. I don't know what it is, but I just love toddlers. Like they're just my favorite little people. And she looks at me, and she like looks me in the eyes and says, "Do you remember me?" And I was like, "No." Like, I don't know who you are. And then she turned around and looked at the person that she was holding on to, their hand, and turned around and looked at this person and said, "She doesn't remember me." And she started crying. And then all of a sudden it was like, whoosh, like right into my heart, that I was like, I do remember you, but I don't know who you are. I do know I know you. And so then I said, "Wait, I do remember you." And then she looked at me and she's like, "Mommy." And then she like jumped in my arms, and I like held her, and I just held her and held her and held her. And it just felt like absolutely incredible. And then there was a little boy that I was dropping off at daycare in my dream. And was changing his diaper, and he looked at me, or no, he didn't have another diaper. I was changing his diaper, and he looked at me because I said, "Oh man, I don't have another diaper for you." And he was like probably 2, he's getting potty trained. And he's like, "That's okay." I said, "I guess we're going to learn how to potty train today." He's like, "Oh, so you're going to teach me something before I have to go. Thank you for teaching me something." I was like, "What is happening?" And then I don't remember what else happened after that, but we do these dream integration circles afterwards. And this shaman, this female Raquel shaman, she's absolutely incredible, the most loving human, very healing. And I was telling her about my dream, and she's like, "Have you had an abortion? Did you have a miscarriage?" And I said, "Yes." And she's like, "These are the babies that are coming through to you." And she's like, "You buried this for a really long time." And she went like on this, this wheel of understanding, and brought these shadows to the surface. And she was like, "I want you to give memory and bury these babies like in a way that makes sense to you. So do it on your land. Plant 2 trees. Plant 2 trees and have a memorial for them, so that they are not stuck between the worlds. Their spirit is stuck, and that's why it's just such a shadow for you, and that's a hole in your soul." And I was like, "Oh my!" I was just crying and crying and crying, and no way would I have ever spoke about this on a podcast 3 weeks ago. I wouldn't even tell. Like, I didn't tell my best friends. Like, there's no way. I didn't. I was so ashamed. But it was my past. It was a mistake that I made a long time ago. And we're not perfect. And nobody's perfect. And I realized, like, I need to heal from this. And I need to speak about this, because how many more people could be helped by, just knowing that our past doesn't define us. Our mistakes don't define us. And like, I've learned so much, and I feel like I've healed so much. I have yet to find my trees, but I'm going to do it. I just need to find the perfect ones. And I've been looking, and I haven't found them yet. So that's an example. Another example was like in my ayahuasca ceremony, I saw my dad. Like, my dad lost his dad when he was 9 years old to my dad's dad was a police officer, and he was measuring skid marks on the side of the road. And he was outside of his squad car measuring skid marks on the side of the road from his accident scene. And he was 33 years old, I think. And there was, like, he had my 9-year-old dad, who was the oldest, my 8-year-old, maybe 7-year-old uncle, and then maybe 4-year-old twin aunts at home. This semi driver dropped his cigarettes and didn't see my grandpa because he bent down to pick up his cigarettes and killed him. And so then in my ayahuasca ceremony, I was my grandfather. I was measuring skid marks on the side of the road, and I got hit by this truck. And I felt all of this pain in my body, but then it was gone in like a second. Like, it wasn't like I suffered, but I felt all this pain, and then I was like in this energetic field, and then I went into the kitchen of my dad's family house.
Like right after that.
Right, like
So
it was.
You didn't get hit by the truck and wake up.
No, like I'm still in this like psychedelic psychoactive ceremony, right? And so
This is
ayahuasca.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I wasn't dreaming this one. This is ayahuasca. This is where the medicine still works too, like to patch holes in your soul. And so I'm like in this kitchen, and I'm all of a sudden I'm my grandma, and I open the door to these police officers telling me my husband just died, and I drop to my knees, and I'm bawling, and I'm screaming, and I just like, I knew the story, but I never felt the story. I knew it sucked. I was always sad for it, but I never felt it, and I felt it in my whole body, my whole being. And then I was my dad, and I was with my dad sitting with his back against the kitchen wall, watching his mom go through hell, like just watching her go through hell, and seeing her like in this state, and then feeling like his childhood. I felt like I'm my dad, and I felt like my childhood was gone. I was no longer a child. I had to be a man. I had to take care of my family, and he's the oldest boy. And my dad, if you know my dad, he is the most loving, hardest working, knows how to do everything human being. And now I know why, because he had to. But he's a hard ass. Like, he is super hard shell. Long story short, he was sent away to go live with his aunt and uncle, to live on this farm, because his mom could not handle taking care of all of the kids, because she was depressed, because she was going through hell. She just lost her husband to a horrific accident. She had 4 small kids at home. So my dad lived at, on this farm, and I could see him like sleeping in this attic, and just remember feeling like I wasn't healed. I was never healed from all of these things that happened to me, from literally losing my dad to this trap. My dad, losing my dad in this semi-accident, in this horrible accident, to also losing my mom, who was still alive, but so emotionally disconnected from me that I had to put a shell on, because this hurt. My heart hurt so much because I wasn't able to receive the love that I needed. And then all of a sudden, like, something was like healed in my soul, of like, I see my dad, and I see my grandma, and I see my grandfather in this completely different light. And it was like just so healing for me, because if we know anything about ancestral healing, that DNA is still in our being. It's given to each one of our children and to the grandchildren. And if we don't heal from that mitochondria is still getting passed down, right? It's still getting passed down. And I could feel this release, this huge release from this. And so those are 2 examples, and I have like hundreds. So I'm not going to go into any more, but those are my 2 big ones, and my very personal ones.
Thanks for sharing. Those are big ones.
Yeah, thanks. What time is it?
It's 11:30. We got a half hour.
Okay. So after, probably a week into it, we're going into our second ayahuasca ceremony. That was the one that I saw my dad. Oh, no, that was my 3rd ayahuasca ceremony. Sorry, that was my 3rd one. My second ayahuasca ceremony, with this psychoactive medicine, I'm going to tell you one more story. My grandma, who pretty much raised us, my parents worked a lot, and this grandma who raised us, who ended up passing away in a nursing home during COVID, she was alone during her passing, and I never grieved it. Like, my grandma raised us. I had a lot of good memories with her. But there was a time in my life that something shifted, and I think she just like went through maybe menopause or something happened where she was also disconnected, and it was like I didn't relate to her anymore, and it was hard for me to be like attached to her, if that makes sense. So when she passed, I was like at the CrossFit games or something, and I was like, oh well, grandma passed, that's sad, like, and I just buried it because I didn't want to feel it, didn't want to deal with it. But in this ayahuasca ceremony, I'm like going up this mountain, and I start seeing all these things because ayahuasca shows a lot of visuals. I'm going up this mountain, and all of a sudden there's like this cloud, and it's my grandma's face, and she looked at me and she smiled, and then all of a sudden I went right back into my heart, and it showed me all of like the beautiful memories that my grandma ever did like with us, like all the memories that I had with her, of her making pies with us, making homemade cookies, like taking us out to she loved NASCAR, and so we would go to the races with her. We'd go ride horses. There was this place that we'd ride horses, and I think it was our neighbor's house. It was only like one time, but I had all these memories, and it was like showing me all the things like, hey, she did all these things with you, and she helped shape your childhood. She gave you a lot of love. She was a big movie. She loved movies, and so we'd always watch all these Disney movies and stuff with her, and she'd always make like these like little snack packs or whatever for us to watch these movies with her. She took me to my first movie theater like movie, to Titanic, which as a child who's seen, whoa.
It's a long one.
It's a long one with a lot of nudity. It was kind of like my my wake up call to womanhood, that's for sure. Um, but yeah, it just showed me like all these beautiful memories. And then all of a sudden I got really sad, and I just started bawling because I realized what an asshole I was to not see her in that light of how much she gave, how much she did for us, like what she did for us. Because I mean, life was hard for her. She had an abusive husband, like it's just a hard life. And she gave everything to us kids, and we did not appreciate it. And I saw her in this like hospital bed dying alone in my ayahuasca ceremony. I just started crying and crying, and then she came to me in the ceremony and said, it's okay, like I forgive you, and you don't have to worry about this. I just wanted to show you and have you remember that there were good memories, and like it was a big part of my childhood, and it just felt so healing because I buried that too, and I didn't know I did. So then after that we did some more, like, you're on that dieta still, you're still eating, we're starting to feel a lot weaker, and like even just walking to the shower, walking down to the lagoon, just start to feel like I'm done, like I don't want to do this anymore, this is so hard.
This is like halfway in. And you were down there for how long exactly?
2 weeks. Okay. And it was Mother's Day, and I just remember feeling like, what did I do? Why am I here? Why did I come to a place so far away from my children, especially on Mother's Day? And I was like, no, I'm not going to feel sorry for myself. I'm going to cry. I'm going to feel all the things I need to feel, because it was sad. Like I was away from my kids, but it was just a heavy day, and it was my hardest day, and I felt like I wanted to go home. But then something shifted. I was like, no, I'm here to heal. I'm here to do this work, not just for myself and my family, but for the people that like we help through the Tin Man, through Headwater Sage, through our own community. Like, I know that I'm supposed to do this work. And so I'm like, okay, suck it up, be strong, and like stay centered, and let's go. So then we learned about making shamanic perfumes. We got these little extra classes in there too. And so we made like these very natural perfumes, and these perfumes we can use in like ceremonies or like healing modalities for protection and whatever else. And it smells good. It's beautiful, like little fragrance that we can use for breathwork sessions and whatever. So that was fun. We learned how to sing prayer music called Icaros. And that can come through your dreams, and like how to open up your throat and to be able to speak your truth, and how to sing these songs that come to you and you don't even know where they come from. what else? Oh, we learned about saplato and mapacho and tobacco. How to use that medicine in a healing way and not in a way that we abuse in the United States. And there's places like obviously in South America that are not using that medicine the way that they need to as well, but they're just these teachers that are helping you to remember that tobacco is a medicine. It's not meant to be this addictive substance that is taking over us and we're not having a good relationship with it. So we learned about that. And then as we're getting ready to leave, we get to break our hard dieta with like a spoonful of salt and lemon juice. And salt and lemon juice never tasted so good in my life. Like, it was so sour, but it was like the first flavor you get in these 2 weeks, right?
You put the salt on the lemon? Or
it's like in a container. They put in like a cup.
You just mix it.
And it's very salty, very sour. And then each person gets like a spoonful.
Oh, that's it. You're not drinking the whole thing.
No, you just get like a spoonful. And so you're just like cleansing your palate of the blandness, right?
It tasted good.
It's so sour, but it was like amazing. Like to have salt for the first time, especially like in the humidity and the heat, and yeah, it was great. And so then he does what we call like a saplato. Wagner does this saplato on you, which is like closing your energetic centers with tobacco. So there's like a video. I think I put it on Instagram. Maybe I think I put it on my story, but I'll share it on an Instagram reel. But he will blow like on your crown, down your chest, on your chest, down your back, and
blowing
in your hands.
Blowing what?
Tobacco. And so tobacco is like this, like it's a cleanser, it's a protector, and so it's like cleansing your body of energy to close out your hard dieta. And then we get to have this beautiful like community breakfast. And it's so nice. Like Raquel made, like she clears off the table and makes this beautiful like place setting, and all of this amazing fruit and granola and like this. It was just amazing. Like to have flavor on your food and to eat with people who are going through this like healing journey with you. It's just beautiful. And then it makes you realize how important eating in community is. You know, it just felt really good. I was like so grateful. Then we had like a lunch and a dinner with really good food. Still on like a soft dieta, so you still can't have oil, processed foods, red meat. Just so it's very simple, like chicken, fish, fruits, vegetables. You can have honey, you can have pure maple syrup, you can have flavor in your drink like fruits and things like that. But you can't have coffee. You still can't have any of that stuff. So then we go back. We're starting to go back to the city. And so when you go back to the city, you have to be very careful because you are so connected to nature and you're so receptive. Like it's easy to like receive energy. So you're not allowed to, during this whole process for the whole 32 days, you can't touch anyone. You're not supposed to. You can touch your kids. Not supposed to touch anyone because it can create sexual tension. And with the sexual tension, it can like move things in your body that I don't really understand exactly how it works, but something to do with the sexual tension moves the energy in a different way than it needs to. It's not being embedded like it needs to be. So you can't have sex, you can't masturbate, like you can't do any of those things.
So this started 32 days.
Yeah. So the first day that you're there. Yeah.
Oh, first day you're there. There's not before. So you gave your husband a hug goodbye.
Yeah, more than that, but
you go to the jungle.
Yes.
And you get home and you can't give him a hug.
And I did hug him because I was like I felt bad, but so it was like a small little hug, but nothing like you don't want to line your energetic centers together because you're exchanging energy and you're still so receptive and you're still trying to communicate with this plant and have this plant communicate with you. So now you're on this soft dieta. So you're going back to the city. We're going back to the city, and I did not want to go shopping. I just stayed in my room. Went to the little restaurant that has they serve, this is the cool place about South America. They have this little restaurant that is serving food for soft dietas. Like they know exactly what you're going through and they make exactly what you need. And we fly home, and it's been like a process. At first, I was like, I don't feel like I belong here. I don't feel like, I just felt something was weird, like something didn't feel right, almost like I was lonely.
How long have you been home?
A week, maybe a little bit longer than a week. 'Cause I got home, yeah. So what is like a week and a half I've been home. But then something like shifted where I started to feel like I'm still having a ton of dreams, and I'm recording all of these dreams. I'm still learning with this plant. I'm still feeling, and they say like it's going to be in your body forever, right? And so it's going to be working with you forever, and you're just going to keep getting, like better. Like you just keep healing, you keep working with the plant, you just keep becoming a better version of you, remembering who you are. And so with my whole experience so far, I'm not done yet. Um, I feel like I've definitely patched a few holes in my soul. I'm able to talk about traumas and really hard things that happened to me a long time ago that I regret. But it was the past, and there's nothing I can do about it. Um, and but I also feel like I've been doing so much work, and I've been trying to heal and doing all of these things, and then really stepping into my spiritual self to only, which is all things I needed to do, I believe. But I'm to this point now where I'm like, it's really that simple. Like I I remember who I am. I remember that life is so simple, and we just need to slow down and just take everything in and stop overcomplicating every damn thing, like thoughts, feelings, social status, economic status, all of these things that don't freaking matter. Like they don't matter. Like we just need to be grateful for what we have. And also when we have the hard things that go on in our lives, it's just part of the process. Like you're gonna feel the hard things so that you can feel the happy things, the joyful things. And so I'm just to this understanding, I think, that life is simple. Life is beautiful, and it's about community. It's about love. It's about just being so grateful and blessed and feeling so blessed for all the things that we do. Um,
Sorry.
oh, you're fine.
Feeling connected to nature, simplifying it,
Yeah,
community.
and just feeling like it's not as hard or as complicated as we make it out to be. It's beautiful.
Do you think we take life too serious?
Yes. Yes. I take life too serious. Like I was taking life so serious to the point where I was overcomplicating every thought that I had, every feeling that I had, every like all the things I'm not yet, right? Like I want to be more successful. I want to help more people. I want to what? Like just be grateful for exactly where you are right now. And I've complained to you like I don't want to mow my yard one more time, but I love to mow the grass, right? Like what am I saying? Like I am so grateful for the property that I get to take care of, for this land that I could do, hopefully have more community on, have earth dinners on with people, like have these farm to table, like gatherings with people, and just have like all of these visions, all of this stuff that I want to do. Yeah, it's so far been a great experience. I'm excited to go again. I got sent home to do another dieta at home with the guidance of Raquel, not alone. I get to do it like via Zoom with another plant called Chuchuwasha. And she sent me home with this one because it's a womb healer. And from all the things that I've done with, like with my past and things that I'm healing from and being able to speak about again, or for the first time, I should say, this one, Chuchuwasha, is like this steel spine, right? Like it's like allowing you to stay sovereign in yourself and have this spine of steel, this this structure, right? Sangre de Grado patches the holes, and now it's like this like Chuchuwasha is going to make the foundation very strong, make the structure very strong. And then I plan on doing another dieta with Bobisana, which is a very big heart opener. So it's like patching this is from my dreams, and this could be wrong, but I saw this in my dreams. Sangre de Grado, heals the holes, like strips all the things that were not meant to be there anymore, to heal all the things. Chuchuasha is like building these buildings, right? This structure, and Bobisana is planting the roses. And I was like, I like it. And so that was part of my dreams too. And I believe like 100% hands down that plants have a spirit. They are trying to communicate with you. And if we can understand the traditional medicine from and like learn these traditional ways through these indigenous tribes, through these shamans, through these maestros, that we can heal the world. Like we are going to be able to help so many people by understanding that you're not separate from nature. You are nature, and we need to quit destroying the earth. We need to quit destroying each other so that we can consume and consume and consume. But I would talk to you forever on this, so we can call it a day.
Well, thanks for everything you shared, and for our listeners, anyone who's interested in experiencing this in the jungle, stay tuned, because in our next 1,000 Hearts fundraising campaign, we are giving away a trip to the next dieta at the same place you went.
Woo-hoo.
So, which is a huge $3,500 value. So for anyone who feels called to do any soul hole patching,
love it.
keep
Thank you so
following
much.
along. Thank you.
Thank you.